Hi, my name is Christine Johnson, and I am a strategist with MDG. We're a marketing agency that specializes in attendee acquisition for events. And today in the session, I want to talk about influencers. And whether you have worked with them before or not, you're probably aware that influencers have power. Their opinions hold weight, their recommendations drive action, but how do you engage them? So over the next few minutes, I plan to share some ideas for how you can better mobilize the influencers in your network, whether or not you consider them to be quote unquote influencers, and also how you can make the most of those relationships with the content creators that you're already working with. So let's dig in. 75% of B2B buyers are influenced by information found on social media, particularly when it's shared by someone they know or trust. This is a data point that came from LinkedIn recently. And when you think of influencers, the people who probably come to mind, they have a large following on Instagram, or maybe they're big YouTubers. But at its core, an influencer is really just someone who has influence over other people. And the people that you follow, whose recommendations you trust, might be a colleague or a peer or maybe a community leader. And so a lot of these people are already in your universe of influence. You have access to this whole universe of people who have industry connections and who have influence over the people that you want to come to your events, whether that's content creators on the far left, which are the people that we normally think of, traditional trade media, other industry thought leaders who don't necessarily have, giant social media accounts, but who are known in the industry. Maybe if you're with an association, maybe it's your association leadership or your board members, other community leaders, active members of your membership program if you're connected to an association, loyal attendees of your event, corporate team leaders who are leaders within large companies that come to your event. Maybe it's exhibitors. And so there are all these people who you can mobilize. But when we think of an influencer program, we often home in on content creators specifically. And content creators are really great at two distinct things. Number one, they have the audience that you want to come to your show. And number two, they are very skilled at creating engaging content that people pay attention to. And thinking about this within the context of our full influencer universe, there are more ways that we can leverage the folks who have the audience that we want. And there are also ways that we can better leverage the content creation skills of the influencers who are formally part of our influencer programs. So at MDG, to boil it down, there are three main ways that we do this. Number one, we empower the everyday influencers in your own community with guidance and resources. This might look like a partners in promotion toolkit that we use to mobilize kind of everyday attendees and exhibitors. It might look like a community ambassador program. It might look like working with a company like Glean In, where we're providing easy resources that make it super simple for attendees and exhibitors to share content on our behalf. Number two, another way we do this is we mobilize inbound content creators with a structured program and on-site experience. There are already influencers out there who want to come to your show, who want to promote your show because our shows are enormous content generation opportunities for them. In 1 day, in 2 days, in 3 days, they can generate literally a year's worth of content. So giving them access and creating resources for them, a program for them, can really be a win-win for both them and for the show. And then number three, we incentivize top-tier influencers with paid partnerships and exclusive opportunities. That's, for the most part, what people tend to think of when they're thinking of an influencer program. So that's relatively straightforward. Here's a few examples of what I'm talking about. So for this one, with AIAA, this is a very robust partners in promotion toolkit that we created with them. They're the Aeronautics Association. And in this case, we were promoting their membership program, but we've done these for events too. And it contains all of these resources, but the really important element of an approach like this is that you must have a very active and motivated group of people who want to promote the show for you. If you create something like this and just put it up on your website and hope that people will use it, chances are that they probably won't. So if you're going to do something like this, you have to have a motivated group of people who want to share on your behalf. And in this case, AIAA has local chapter leaders who want to recruit members for their own chapter. So an approach like this makes sense. And maybe you have local leaders who want to bring people to your show, but they need guidance. Or maybe you can offer an incentive to community leaders by creating a promotion like recruit 5 attendees and get 1 registration free, or something like that. And if you are like a medical or a science show, for example, and you really want people from a specific university to come to your show, offer the science department head a deal where if they can recruit 5 students to come, they get a 6th registration for free. Something along those lines. That can be a great way to structure it into a community ambassador program and work with your everyday influencers. Here's another example from an industry that is not teeming with content creators. So IBEX is a show for boat builders, and the B2B boat manufacturing space is not one that's just overflowing with Instagram influencers. But they do have a handful of people like Ben Taylor. He does not have a huge following on Instagram or TikTok, but he does have a significant network on LinkedIn. He has a podcast for that he works on with the association that partners with the show. And he is a very skilled content creator. So IBEX hired him to be their show reporter, and they offer his services in their media kit to exhibitors. So he can come to an exhibitor booth and record a demo of their product. Content like that is a win-win for the show and for the exhibitors. I thought that was a really great idea. Next up, we've got the Influencer Summit for the hardware show. This is a very robust example of an inbound influencer program. And an influencer program, inbound one, can be as simple as just an extension of your press room. Like just how you treat traditional media, make a version of that for new media. But this is kind of taking that to the next level. So at the National Hardware Show, which is actually where I am right now, we've offered them an exclusive show floor tour where we opened up the show to them before the other registrants can come. They can see all the hot items on the floor and kind of plan out their day. We've offered them brand resources so that they know how to talk about the show. We've got a dedicated press room for them that's separate from the one for traditional media, that's set up differently and really optimized for their needs. We created a little bit of educational content for them, a few sessions where they can share best practices and tips with each other. We also created a content contest for them to kind of incentivize their content creation on the show floor. And then we also have a VIP party for them so they can mix and mingle amongst themselves. That's a very robust approach to an inbound influencer program, but maybe it'll spark some ideas for you. And then finally, for those influencers that you do pay, of course, we keep an eye on the reach and the engagement and how many registrations they're able to drive with their promo codes. But let's also remember that these folks are expert content creators. And the absolute best ROI that you can get is if you repurpose their content as a paid ad. And you can see those examples on the screen. We see Apex on the far left with their amazing ad that drove a ton of traffic to the website. And then on the right with the sweets and snacks example, 18% of the overall registrations for the show were driven by this one ad from a created by a content creator, but posted by Sweets and Snacks and used as a paid media ad. And so that's just amazing. These are highly effective ads that can bring in new audiences, drive those conversions that we're looking for. So anyway, I went through that pretty quickly, and I hope that it sparked some ideas for you. So I will leave you with this simple question: how will you mobilize your network of influence? And I can't wait to see what you do. Thank you so much for your time.